Hello, everybody. It's your boy John Morgan, and today we are blessed with the presence of CJ The Connect,
Out here.
my brother.
My
So, should I give them the good news, or are you gonna play the messenger?
What do you mean? Like you
Huh?
can. I'm
What,
sure
what,
you
what are
can.
we doing here today?
Well, trying something new, Andre.
Yeah, 100%.
Trying something for the spot social. Trying to change it up a little bit, see what we can do.
Yeah, well, so this is the announcement of a brand new podcast called The Spot Social.
Yeah.
It is still a segment of The Spot, but we're gonna focus on creatives, entrepreneurship, and thinking outside of the box. So we have some really interesting things for you guys, specifically a lot of challenges that we're gonna come up with, and
Yeah.
really interesting guests, man.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good time to just start off by let's talk about the creative in Namibian context, man. Because I was thinking the other day, bro, like I think creatives in Namibia specifically are madly underrated, bro. What do you think the role of the creative is in our society?
Geez, depends what you mean by creative, bro. You know what I mean?
Creative, and somebody
like
who
there's so many-
creates something. If you're gonna talk about it in the context of business,
Yeah.
I would say the person who starts the business, and then you have your conservative who runs the business after that.
Yeah.
So entrepreneurs, artists,
Yeah.
musicians.
Yeah. I think the creative industry is. I do think I agree with you. Like I feel
Yeah.
like it's a bit under par,
Yeah.
or maybe as you say underrated.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because of a lack of competition, bro. I don't think there's a lot of people who are. I mean,
Yeah.
like if you're gonna be, it's easy to be the best basketball player in your school if you guys are the only ones in the region or something. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like so, being able in that kind of sense, linking that to the creative industry, I feel like it's the same thing. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of people to look up to, or a lot of people to be like compare yourself against, and that's why I think
Yeah.
it's like people are just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, but I do think we have a couple of trailblazers in the midst of us. I mean, look at KP Illist.
I do.
He's being featured by like international artists, etc.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna have him on soon, though. By the way, stay tuned.
No, I agree. I think definitely a lot of people are opening doors. I think
Yeah, word.
this is the time to do it.
Word.
But that's why the industry isn't looked at like that yet. But at least with music seems to be booming. Some stuff's happening. Art, not so much. Fashion, a little bit. But different
Yeah.
stuff. I think you need strides. People need to be there. I think you need to have a lot of people in one industry that are really determined.
Yes.
And that's why music is gonna keep getting better, because there's a 16-year-old kid who's producing heartbeats in his room.
Yes.
And he's coming for the industry, and I mean, there are like 20 of them. You know what I mean? Next year
Yeah.
we have 20 more artists. You know what I mean?
Word.
So
I feel you.
that pushes the level of production or whatever up to a whole new level.
Yeah, and I think an important factor to consider as well is this whole story of globalization. I mean,
Yeah.
if somebody's in Namibia, it doesn't mean they're only competing with Namibians, bro.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can compete with anybody in the US, in London, in the UK. I mean, I think if you look at the grime segment, you know what grime is, right?
Yeah,
It's like
of course.
it's like British hip hop.
Yeah,
I dig that. It's
Yeah,
pretty
no,
dope.
it's
Who's your
my-
favorite artist, by the way?
Bro, in Grime?
Yeah, Grime.
Bro, I've been listening to this new kid called H. Do you know
H, yeah, H is a white boy.
Yeah,
He's good,
H,
man.
H is dope. Obviously, Stormzy, Bugsy Malone.
Be inspired.
Dave's album.
Dave, I was about to say Dave is
album
lit,
was
bro.
mad. Yeah,
Santan, shout out, bro. Shout out.
I'm out here with my UK things,
Yeah,
bro.
exactly.
You know
And I
what
mean, if you look at that industry, that's relatively new.
Yeah.
The time guys like Bugsy Malone came into it, I don't think there was a lot of money in it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And look at it now. That dude's driving a Lamborghini every second week, bro. I
Yeah.
think he's on par with American artists.
Yeah.
So that's the vision I have for Namibia. I think if we really pull up our socks and we become trailblazers,
Yeah.
we have a lot of potential to
No,
unlock, bro.
I think you're right. I think if we start thinking at an international standard, then that's when the standard will go up, because now you're not competing with only people in Namibia, because everything is online. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
so
yeah.
someone can follow Nasty C and can follow you at the same time. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
So the idea is, when you start thinking like that, that's when you start to open doors and whatever. And I think that's what we're trying to do with like
Yeah.
KP, and trying to think internationally, bro.
Yeah.
Because here you can't just think here.
Exciting
Yeah.
times. I mean, what just sprung to mind all of a sudden was, even if you look at the global picture, like I'm into finance, so this is how my brain works. I always think about this. I just read the other day that the artificial intelligence and big data movement is definitely going to replace mediocre jobs and basically jobs that don't require creativity. So I think this is a very important topic that Namibians need to wake up, man. We need to differentiate ourselves, number one, whether that's through branding or actually having a skill
Yeah.
that separates you from everybody else. But I don't think it's going to be possible to compete with a machine that's plugging in numbers into an Excel sheet, bro.
No, I
Like,
completely agree.
That's impossible.
I
man.
completely agree. We
Yeah,
have to
so-
like we have to start valuing our ideas, bro.
Exactly, bro.
It's things that like stuff that no one else can create because machines can't come up with ideas.
Exactly.
But all this little stuff and all these people working in like offices and like
Yeah.
government, depending on these kind of things, like
Yeah.
filling in forms, machines are going to be able to replace that
Exactly.
very quickly. So I completely agree. And also, I was thinking while you were speaking, I was thinking about a friend of mine, Senna, who's into intellectual property, and so she's like an advocate for just like protecting your idea as even like in a business context or as a like a design context, whatever.
Yes.
Like just saying that as Namibians, we lack. There's a big lack in like intellectual property protection,
Yes.
and when we start focusing that, and that's when you start to value what you guys create, and then the world starts to see that. Do you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. So it's becoming an asset, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think
Exactly
that could possibly be the answer to our unemployment problem as well, which I actually posed to Pervans Hoyer a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think Spot podcast number 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's something we missed out on, is actually developing human capital, because I think the way you understand an asset these days is a lot different compared to 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like your brand, like just I'm thinking about you now. You're into clothing as well. You have your own brand. I think I saw you have like necklaces and
Yeah. No,
and
I
jewelry.
did,
yeah?
I did jewelry.
Exactly. And look at him, he's wearing an NY hat. That's all the way from America. That's how far you can that's how far you can go. I'm just wearing an NY hat because my trim looks like an argument. But yeah, like I digress. Branding is very important, and I
Bro.
think we need to start focusing on
Bro,
that.
I completely agree, and especially while you're saying that, your personal brand is going to be your biggest asset in the next 10 years, 100%.
Yeah.
Because everything else is the way you were saying before, in terms of machines and the way technology is pushing.
Yes.
Everything else can be replaced, bro. Everything else. If you want to be the best, I don't know, like whatever your job is and whatever you think like you're absolutely good at, right? There's someone out there who will be able to get in front of that, the person you're trying to get in front of better because they have the means. You know what I mean? Social
Exactly.
media, whatever is there. So the thing, I still believe this so much, like the biggest CEOs for the next 10 years or in the next 10 years are going to have extremely good personal brands. It's not going to be a CV. It's not going to be a whatever, because like your personal brand needs to walk into the room before you do. People need to know who you, when you're coming into the room, people need to know that this is you. And man, I honestly think it's the biggest asset you can have. Honestly. And I feel like people neglect it, and especially, and remember we had this conversation when you were talking about like you saying you're in the finance space and like how do you build a personal brand in the finance space and whatever. And I was like, bro, put out content, put out as much as you can, and your opinion matters. You know what I mean? People want to see what you're about. You know what I mean? So before, when this thing pops off and you get 1 million views on the spot, I'm calling it now on the spot. When you get 1 million views on the spot, people are gonna be like, "Oh, John Morgan, man, I like."
Yeah, for sure.
I like the way he thinks about things or whatever. And then when they're trying to sort out some stuff with their finances or whatever, you're gonna be the ones at top of mind all the time, and that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be.
Yes, of course. I mean, I'm just thinking now. I think it's really important to also now place our little podcast, the Spot Social, into this picture.
Yeah.
And yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to look to expose all of these entrepreneurs, all of these hidden talents within Namibia. I think earlier you told me about a young boy who moved to Rehoboth who's really into fashion, etc. Like these are the type of guys we're going to try and bring out and expose to everybody else. And I'd really like to see some really great seeds blossom into big oak trees. Yeah. You know, I'm really excited for that, because I do believe that the talent out here, even if you just look at football, any type of sport, like I believe we have it. We have everything. We just don't have the opportunity. And yeah, because of that, I'm really, really excited, man. Yeah, I'm excited. And then just off the back of that, I think if you look at like this setup, it's a podcast. It goes out online to everybody. Yeah. One thing I would advise people on is do not be afraid to fail or to be wrong. You know, that should give you the opportunity to come back better, 100%. To improve your service. And because technically what you're doing, if you're putting something out online, what you're doing is you're asking people to basically judge you, man. And you can't have thin skin. You have to have thick skin in this business, bro. You need to be ready to take it and not just expose yourself, man. But I mean, you've obviously been in the game longer. I mean, you're close to 1 million followers on the gram. What? So how have you been dealing with
close to 1 million? The funny thing is, I haven't been pushing that much on my Instagram. because I
Don't be
feel like
humble,
'cause
man.
I'm just trying to change my audience, to be honest. Like my previous audience was more about fashion and my modeling stuff. So
yeah, and now
so
you're on what?
now I'm definitely more about like just personal development and like pushing stuff regarding like personal brands and
Yeah.
but more, if I had to define my statement, I'd be like it's about, I'd say everything I put around is about creating value. I think that's what it is. Like, and whether regards to your relationships, whether regards to like your business or your fashion, or what you wear or what you do on a daily basis, I'm trying to help people create value and be valuable wherever they go.
Of course,
I feel like that's, if I had to like package it nicely, that's what it would be.
That's pretty cool. I think on the back of that, as an extension, what we're gonna do as a Spot Social, probably gonna go to his gram first, and then ask some questions. If you guys have any relationship questions, or I guess I can step in if you need some financial advice as well.
Yeah.
And then just throw it into our grams. I think we're probably gonna post it in some story or whatever. We're gonna put that out, and then you guys can just ask some questions, and we'll answer that as well. I think that'll be an interesting extension onto our podcast. Maybe weekly or whatever. Maybe we can add some value to your lives.
Yeah, and like this just popped into my head when we were driving here. We realized that you and I dress almost exactly the same.
Dude, that was crazy. This was not planned, man.
Like, and this happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
But do you think? Because I saw this meme back in the day, and it said, "The Lincoln Build starter pack." So like, let's link and build, and it had everything I wear on a daily basis. It had Chelsea boots, skinny jeans, a hat, and like I was like a black shirt or whatever. And I was like, yo, this is me. And that's the kind of stuff that I do. So I was like, do you think there's an actual like dress code for like people like us that are like trying to do stuff? You know what I mean? Because it was weird for me. It was
really weird, yeah.
It was weird for me because I was like, wait, am I that easy to put in a category? You know what I mean? Because it was exactly me. And that's stuff I say the whole time, like, yo, bro, I'm working on something, we should link and build. So, and the picture literally said, so it was confusing for me, like, am I that easy to put in a category?
Yeah, especially
like,
if you think you're like different from everybody else. That's a really good question. I never thought of it that way. Very interesting. Yeah, I think you have a point there. Most people, I do think, look, we're more alike than different, of course, man.
Yes.
I think where you differentiate yourself would be if you know what a normal distribution is. Sorry for bringing statistics into this, man, but like a normal distribution, people are more interesting on the ends.
Yes.
So if you have two overlapping normal distributions, most of us would be
in the middle.
We have a lot of similarities in the middle, but where you differentiate would be on the two ends. So this distribution would not have the same end as this one because they're two overlapping ones. You know, so that's what I think. Yeah, I think most people are the same. We think the same. That's why like behavioral economics is actually something studied at the best economics. People have like Nobel Peace Prize, not Peace Prize, economic prizes. Imagine, bro. So I just feel like we are very similar, and especially if you're like in the same space almost, because I'm pretty sure we follow like the same pages on Instagram and YouTube. You know, I know you always quote like Gary V, Gary Vaynerchuk, man.
Gary V's
you know, so we are like influenced by the same people and same ideas.
I think that's what it is. I think that's very, it's interesting, but also very scary to think, because that means that like everything that you think is known to be true, everything that you think is your original ideas and your intuition, like this is me, this is I love dressing like this because it's me, is actually a result of the influence of everything that you consume.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's crazy because like your true definition of something, or like this is how I believe the world is, might not even be your true definition, might be what your 5 friends think, and because of that, you're convinced this is how the world is. You know what I'm trying to say?
I feel you. I actually want to ask you a really difficult question. So let's play make-believe.
Okay.
Imagine you were born in Germany at the time everybody was a Nazi. You think you were going to be a Nazi, prison guard? Be honest with yourself, just given what you just said to us.
If I was born in born in Germany, everyone is a Nazi.
Yeah, everyone is a Nazi. Your prisoner was a Nazi. The bartender was a Nazi. The girl you're trying to hook up with was definitely a Nazi.
Yeah.
Do you think you were going to be a Nazi as well?
Bro.
That's the real question to answer today.
Chances are, it's very hard for you to be like, no, you wouldn't.
Exactly.
Because your environment creates who you are, bro. And it's so interesting to see, because I have conversations with people and they're like definite about something. They think this sort of way, and I think completely differently. And it's very clear to me that for me, it's like it's hard to tell what's the truth, bro. You know what I mean? Like, what is the truth? Because two things can happen, right?
Yeah.
Something can happen. Same event. You and I, we view it exactly. We see the exactly same thing. In my head, I'm like, this happened.
Yes.
In your head, that happened.
Exactly.
There's no way of defining what
Truth,
the absolute is. You know what I mean? So, bro, so I think chances are you'll be a Nazi, bro.
I mean, that just, you know, to me, what it says is you need to be careful who you surround yourself with.
100%.
And you need to, I believe in a to-do list, man. Every day of my life, I have a to-do list.
Yeah.
I rank it by priority.
Yeah.
Most important things go first, and the least important would go last. Make sure you try and go through everything, but try and be actively conscious of who you're mixing with and what you're exposing yourself to. Because, I mean, of late, I've realized that it's really important.
Bro,
man.
you have to audit.
Yeah.
You have to audit
That's
yourself,
the word,
bro.
man. Audit.
You literally have to audit, bro. It's crazy when you think about it. When you think about you are what you consume. And when your friends, look at your friends, and people keep saying this, and I'm always like, yeah. But it's ridiculous, bro. If you surround yourself with people that act a specific way, if 5 of your friends are driven and focused and motivated and whatever, it's gonna be extremely hard for you not to be that kind of person.
Course,
so literally just audit.
Of course.
Audit and position yourself to be in places that, and that also works in business or whatever you want to do, right? If you're trying to be the best rapper or the best artist or whatever, find people who you think are on the way to get there.
Amen.
And just surround yourself by them, you know what I mean? And that's what Gary Vee says all the time.
Yeah. And is that what you do?
Yeah, bro.
Would you consider yourself having a really small circle?
Oh, that's a hard question because I have so many friends. I generally, I'm the connect, bro.
Oh my days!
I just
friendly guy.
It's really what I feed off. I feed off people, 100%. If I don't leave the house for a week or even 3 days, if I don't see people for 3 days, I get weird, bro. I get sad. I get sad. Like I genuinely get sad. It's the weirdest thing.
Crazy.
So I feed off linking people, and if I could, my ideal lifetime job, lifetime situation, whatever, is to get paid to meet really good people. That's it. Like if I could just travel the world, meet good people, and link them to other good people, I'd be happy. So that's what I'm trying to, to position myself to get to.
That's interesting, man. Because I have a different perspective, man. I feel like personally, I prefer things and ideas over people for some reason, man. But at the end of the day, things and ideas are only valuable if you're actually connected to some people at least. So I think because of that, my circle is quite small, but I think there's a lot of value, man. Like I trust everybody in my circle.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
for
good.
sure, man.
That's important.
Trust them. So yeah, I think that was a good introduction.
Yeah.
The social spot. What we have coming up next year, I think. Do you want to say or should I?
I think what KP Illis.
Yeah, KP Illis is coming on.
Is gonna be on the spot,
and he's gonna come with Pervans Hoya, the managing director of Aristek. What they're gonna do is they're gonna battle head to head. Hip hop challenge. We're gonna see who's the biggest hip hop head in Windhoek.
I can't believe Pervans a hip hop head.
Let's wait and see, man. Let's wait and see. I'm putting my money on Pervans, man.
Really?
Day.
No, okay, I'll put my money on KP. KP, okay. KP has the most incredible memory you ever realized. Trust me.
Then it's gonna be heavyweights, bro. These are two heavyweights going head to head, man.
It's gonna be head to head.
That's sick. So what we're gonna do is the winner we're gonna take out sneaker shopping. They're gonna choose whatever they want, and the loser will have to eat the hottest spicy wings that we can cook up. It's going to be very interesting on camera.
Should be a thing.
It'll be about a week after the competition. So stay tuned and thank you guys.